I don't want to say I think he's guilty because I think that's kind of unfair to say like I think he's guilty, but the way that he's framing this is very suspicious, and it makes it hard for me to trust him. It does. I'll tell you this. I don't immediately trust Tucker Carlson that he acted in good faith.
So I am really happy that Asmongold actually changed what he was saying here. I do feel like from the beginning he was kind of acting like he was very biased against Tucker Carlson, when in reality I don't think that anybody, including him, really knows what the fuck is going on. Like I said, I sort of used to like Tucker Carlson, used to trust him, and feel like he was trustworthy. But I am not of the impression that he is just up mostly like that. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like I don't just immediately trust him either, but I also don't want to reprimand him completely. So I'm under the impression that nobody up in this amount of power or in these circles is really somebody that we can trust at this point. I mean, like I said, I did have a lot of faith in Tucker Carlson growing up, and I felt like he was always a trustworthy seeming guy. But especially with everything going on now, I don't trust him. I don't trust Asman. I don't trust the president. I don't trust really anything that anybody just says without any kind of evidence behind it. And that's why I say that I really want to see what kind of stuff that Tucker Carlson was actually sending to the people in Iran. And I want to see what was being talked about. I'd like to know who he was talking to. I would like to know more details about this shit before I say, but I don't just outright trust him either. But at the same time, I'm not trying to like reprimand him. And I mean, Asmongold has agreed with people that I very much disagree with, like Tectone and shit like that as well, who I think is guilty of some bad stuff, in my opinion, from what it seems like. So it's, not everything everybody says is to be taken heavily. And even the stuff I'm saying isn't to be taken heavily. I think we all need to understand that without facts, we can only make guesses pretty much. And that's just kind of the way that it is, guys.
Thing is that like everybody doesn't want to trust the government, but you're assuming that this random person that's a media personality is somehow completely infallible. No, you should really be more logical about this and think about it yourself. Like, I don't think that it's outside of the realm of possibility that Tucker Carlson could have leaked something. I don't think that's impossible for that to have happened. Now, do I think it's likely? I mean, probably not. Like, I think this is probably going to go nowhere. I'm a nothing's ever happened, Chud, right? I've said this many times. Like, it probably is going to go nowhere, but it's something that's worth considering. So anyway, what is this here if I pull a few more of these comments here? And Zero Repercussions entitled Nonsensical Data.
I don't know if nothing is going to happen, but man, I would really like to see something happen if something's actually going on. And I mean, I think Tucker Carlson should know better as to what he should and shouldn't say outside of the country whenever something like this is going on, though. So I feel like if he did say anything or leak information, I feel like that wasn't by accident. I don't know. It just depends on the context. Let me know what you guys think about that, though. If it was like purposeful, or do you think that this is something that's going to go somewhere? Do you think this is something that's going to make a big, big stink of everything? Like, you think he's going to get in trouble? I don't know.
That's right, yeah. So for years, I served as chairman of the board of Christian ministry when I was one of the most viral underground church movements in Iran. Iran has been under U.S. sanctions for years, which means that getting any funds into Iran from any form is severely restricted. If it is not done in strict compliance with the law, board members are liable for federal crimes and can easily face up to federal prison for the rest of their lives. It's very serious stuff. For Tucker Carlson to say that he's an American journalist who can do anything he wants and talk to anyone he wants with zero repercussions is the epitome of entitled, nonsensical gaslighting. Journalists know that there are laws that they must all abide by. Everyone has to obey the law, even the rich, naughty, entitled men with names like Tucker or Bentley. And if he's found to be guilty for crimes against the United States,
He could be facing big jail time.
and I truly hope the proper justice is served. We'll see what happens, right?
I would say within the next few days and then the next coming weeks, we will see whatever progresses out of this and what kind of evidence they bring up and then what kind of repercussions are going to be faced for something like this. But yeah, we'll see.
Here's what appears to happen. Oh, there's a second video. Let me see.
Sure.
Oh, this is the first one. Let me see this one here.
Now that wasn't a risk from the Israeli standpoint.
This is the second video. I don't know what the context of this is. That's why I'm watching it.
From the Israeli standpoint.
This is the second video. I don't know what the context of this is. That's why I'm watching it.
Okay, so there's going to be a part two here to this video. We're going to see what else he's got to say about this whole situation, I guess.
That was the point. They wanted to diminish the Gulf. And in 2 days they have. And I think anyone...
Lol, First Amendment unless he leaked? I mean, isn't that what everybody thinks? Like, I feel like we all agree on that, right? Like, lol, First Amendment unless he leaks something confidential?
So, yes, I'm under the impression that unless he said something that he shouldn't have said and actually gave information to somebody he shouldn't have, then I don't really think there should be any kind of repercussions. Like, he lives in America, he should be allowed to say what he wants, and they shouldn't be using that as a ploy to get somebody in trouble just because they don't like them.
Like, that's my opinion. You're right. That's actually that is my viewpoint. Like, yeah, if he leaks something, I mean, duh, yeah, of course. Isn't that how it works? Yeah, of course it should be.
Even if he's not guilty, I think there's a chance that he's not going to get in trouble, though.
Who likes decency and order and cleanliness is hoping that the Gulf will recover. The Gulf is not a threat to us. We have military bases in these countries. These are some of our closest allies. All of them are closer allies than Israel, by far.
I mean, maybe that's why he thinks he can talk to people there.
They're our friends, but they've been really hurt. And in a place like Dubai, which is basically part of a country, it's an emirate.
Dubai is Agartha for the Middle East.
I think that what he means by that is that it's very prestigious and that it's kind of like a very upper class or very like well put together area.
Within the United Arab Emirates, but it's also it's a luxury brand, basically. People go to Dubai because it's beautiful and rich and clean, and above all, because it's safe and orderly.
It is. What?
It's got the busiest airport in the world. You start seeing video on Instagram of smoke in the Dubai airport, and you're like, I think I'm going to Cabo this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, sorry, drug cartels. Whatever.
I mean, have you guys seen the Dubai chocolates? That shit's like $20-some a pop for one chocolate bar. So yes, everything that comes out of Dubai and everything with Dubai's name on it seems to be a little luxury.
Maybe you go to Sedona this
sure.
year. It really, really hurts these countries, and Israel wanted to hurt these countries. That's the point. Wanted to hurt
Israel did. I thought Iran bombed them.
Countries wanted to sow chaos and disorder because they are rivals of Israel. So it's probably hasn't been reported,
Iran
but it's a
flew
fact.
drums into
Last night in Qatar and Saudi Arabia, authorities arrested Mossad agents planning on committing bombings in those countries. Now,
didn't Qatar come out and refute this? I thought they did. Like, or it was like some other country that like came out and refuted this and said that they were actually Iranian.
Maybe he's leaving that part out, or maybe he just doesn't know.
that's weird. That doesn't make any sense. Why would these?
They did. They said it was with Iran. Yeah. So this turned out to not be true, and he even got corrected by the government of that country.
Really?
I think if they came out and said a whole ass statement about it, that it's pretty prevalent, and I think that it's something we should be taking into consideration. I'm not sure why Tucker Carlson isn't talking about that, but maybe, like I said, maybe he just doesn't know.
Be committing bombings in two Gulf countries, which are also being attacked by Iran. Aren't they on the same side?
And also, like, that's another logical jump, right? Where, like, you're going from the Israeli spies being there to the Israelis did the bombing. Like, obviously, like, you can make that assumption, but, like, that is a logical jump that needs evidence that was not presented there. It was just a guess.
No. No. Israel wants to hurt Iran and Qatar and UAE and Saudi and Bahrain and Oman and Kuwait.
They're against everybody.
And they've succeeded.
Man, that's crazy, isn't it? And I don't even know what to say. And Tucker's a spy for Iran. I don't know.
Wow. I've had people saying the exact same thing in my comments about Asmongold being an asset for the government. Holy shit.
If he is or not. I really don't. But I think that there's some.
I would think not, but I really don't know anymore. I feel like I don't know who's in cahoots with who at this point. It's hard to tell.
Something that's very suspicious here. Anyway, here's what appears to be happening. And again, this is very, very leading, right? Former IDF sergeant, okay? So just keep that in mind. Tucker Carlson has allegedly been conducting his own foreign policy with Iran on behalf of the United States. At some point, the CIA got wind of this and informed President Trump, who may have used Tucker as an unwitting counterintelligence asset to feed faulty information to Iran. Following the launch of Epic Fury, Tucker's traitorous behavior may have finally caught up with them, and as the DOJ
So he was used by Trump to get info back and forth.
reportedly prepares a criminal complaint against them based on CIA intelligence. So bonus, an example of Tucker likely parroting Iranian regime propaganda. So there's another one here. Tuck may have just pulled it. Yeah, this is it. So there's a chance that if the CIA knew that he was talking to the Iranians, then President Trump would have known that also.
But it seems like whatever Donald Trump had Tucker Carlson doing, maybe then Tucker Carlson was using those connections to do the opposite.
They knew that he was talking to the Iranians, then President Trump would have known that also when he invited Tucker into the Oval Office just a few days before the strike, which means that Trump may have used Tucker to deceive the Iranians about the likelihood of an impending.
Wow. So it's like he's actually been using him as a spy, bro. What the fuck?
I wonder if that's true.
That's crazy if it is.
Oh my God.
That is wild.
Wow.
I wasn't expecting that to come out, but I think that that's a good way to like really make somebody need to watch you, you know? I mean, you were an asset in that way for the government and you were actually being used like a pawn, Tucker, and I feel like that means in my opinion, I think you should be watched. I feel like you should be paid attention to in my opinion. Wow.
Trump's not smart enough for that? Are you still one of those people that thinks that he's stupid?
He's bombastic, not stupid.
So this big orange bumble retard just seems to win every single outcome that he gets involved with, right? He's dumb as fuck. He is not dumb. This guy is not dumb. You're wrong.
They're just basing that off the way he fucking sounds, bro. And yes, he is not professional sounding. He is just straight up fucking dirty and nitty gritty with that shit.
About Trump, I think that this is my outlook, okay? The amount of positive outcomes Trump has created for himself, I don't think is a coincidence. I think it's because he's obviously very intelligent and competent.
He definitely knows what he's doing.
I think that's exactly what's going on. And I think people that don't believe that are coping. And they are coping hardcore. Massively coping.
A lot of people really don't like Trump and just want him to be a dumbass.
And he might be smart. Yeah, he's a dumb, smart president. Just because he talks like a certain way or anything else, it's easy to win the president being the wealthiest country. Look at the EU backing now. You showed videos of France warships yesterday. Well, that's good, right? I mean, obviously you want to have France come help. Like I think that's a good thing. I mean, I would say it's a good thing. But anyway, we will look at the rest of these too, because it's just been. I think this is going to continue, right? A little bit more. Trump falls into the victory every single time. Yeah, like it's crazy that like this guy who's like just so stupid just accidentally became a billionaire and won the presidential election 2 times and, you know, was able to like, you know, capture Maduro and, you know, we did all this other stuff.
I mean, that, and I also feel like he's got other people around him that he probably asks questions and relies on for some kind of advice in some way, I assume. I don't know. I really don't fucking know. I definitely think that Trump knows what he's doing to a big extent, though, and he knows exactly how to get himself where he wants to be so that he's in control of shit, whether he sounds dumb or not.
And yeah, I think it's just I'm sure these are all just a huge line of coincidences, right? And 3 times sorry brother I forgot we can say that now. Yeah, 3 times. So true. Anyway, Trump, yeah, they might have used Trump to deceive. On January 17th, I called a friend of mine at the White House to express concerns about Tucker Carlson visiting the Oval Office. She answered rather cryptically, just trust the plan. Little did I know the plan meant we know Tucker speaking to the Iranians, so we're using him as a useful idiot, debate the Ayatollah, and kill off the IRGC leadership. Oh, and then we'll arrest him for espionage when this is all over. I don't believe that, man. I don't. I think that is like, again, that is like a very, very high level of operation. I don't know if that's true or not. Secretly communicating with the enemy of the United States during an active war conflict makes you a traitor in my book. It depends on what you're communicating, in my opinion. But yeah, and oh, here we go. Here's one more image of it, or one more instance of it.
I also feel like it depends on who he was talking to as well as what he was saying. So I would like to get that information out and see what was being said before I consider him just an outright fucking traitor. I don't fucking know, bro. I really don't. If he was talking to like the head of the bad guys over on that side of the fucking water, yeah, maybe. But if he was just talking to some fucking dude that's like a friend of his cousins or some crap, and they were just talking about like what the weather was or just some basic shit, or wasn't giving information based on like confidential shit.
Why is my audio always broken? I don't know what's caused this to happen.
Tucker Carlson might be going to prison. I have some reported information that dives a little
Damn, he said going to prison. Okay.
deeper on Tucker's contact with IRGC personnel, how President Trump used this to take out Khomeini, and surprise the IRGC. So as many of you have seen, Tucker had this to say on his show.
So the other day I found out that the CIA is preparing some kind of criminal referral against me, a crime report to the Department of Justice on the basis of a supposed crime I committed. What's that crime? Well, talking to people in Iran before the war.
Talking to who in Iran, Tucker? Because people don't get arrested for talking to people in Iran. In fact, many Americans talk with people in Iran, family, friends, etc. That is, when they are able to around the times the IRGC cuts off the internet and services.
That's
but
right.
You seem to figure it out.
Yes.
That is, you were speaking with people in the IRGC. About what? We may have that information, and this will reportedly all be released in these next coming days or so.
It definitely sounds like he's insinuating that he wasn't just talking to any Tom, Dick, and Harry within Iran. And I mean, I think that makes sense that it wasn't just anyone.
My texts. So the crime under consideration apparently would be the Foreign Agent Act or something like that.
No, they didn't read your text, Tucker. They were actually monitoring the calls and messages of our enemies, the same ones plotting against us and screaming consistently, "Death to America."
Oh my God. Okay. So that's completely different than what he's been trying to say this entire fucking time. Like him talking to just any fucking body inside of Iran is a completely different story than if he's directly talking to the enemies. Like, oh my God. Like, especially if they're not monitoring Tucker Carlson either. They're actually monitoring the enemy's phones, and all of a sudden he just shows up on that shit. Like, how is that explainable, Tucker? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And that's beyond suspicious, bro. That's bad.
Robert Hansen, the FBI counterintelligence agent who secretly spied for the Soviet Union and later Russia for over 20 years until
What happened to him?
2001, he was arrested not because the US was monitoring Hansen at first, but because they discovered him by analyzing information coming from Russian intelligence files.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Same thing.
I could see that.
If this information is reportedly true, President Trump knew about Tucker's traitorous betrayal of the United States and gave him false information, like he had no intention of attacking Iran. This explains the increasing amount of appearances Tucker had to the White House leading up to Operation Epic Fury. Tucker would then pass that information on to our adversaries.
So he gave him a heads up, bro. That is not okay. And also, like I said, that is the complete opposite of what Tucker was actually saying he did. I mean, dude, I feel like he could get his whole life seriously ruined by this shit, man. What the fuck?
People think that they were inviting Tucker to the White House regularly so they could use him as a disinformation agent,
which gave the IRGC a false sense of security. This would include opening up Khomeini to an airstrike along with countless other IRGC leaders who are all now dead. So don't believe Tucker watering down what is happening with this investigation in his video, where he seems extremely nervous, shaken, and uncomfortable. Use a little bit of sense. You don't get in trouble and accused of being a foreign agent charged under the Foreign Agents Registration Act of 1938 simply for just speaking to Iranians.
Yeah, I've spoken to Iranians.
You know that, and Tucker supporters
Everybody
deep down
knows that.
know that as well.
Yeah.
We shall see how this plays out over the next
You know what
days,
I know, everybody
but
knows
if it is even halfway true what is being reported, and what I have on good measure will be released soon, then he is, to put it lightly, fucked.
Oh, wow. I guess we'll have to see what happens. Do you think the U.S. made a mistake? Well, I don't know. And Hansen, the guy sold.
So, I mean, like he just said, unless there's some kind of funny part in or some kind of thing that gets him out of it, like there has been in the past with other situations, it looks like Tucker might be actually fucked in this situation, guys. I don't fucking know what's going to happen. We'll just have to see what comes out in the evidence and shit in the next couple of days. I'd say with all of this stuff coming out today, we have another week or so, and we'll have a whole lot more information, and we're going to keep covering this, guys, because I'm interested too. So stay tuned.